Chill here with Sirius Talis Moon. We are on a Venus day, and internet is slow. Mars conjunct Uranus. A couple of things that come up now. I wonder what is it? Because Mars is ruling genetics. I know that there have been a recent development into scientific studies of Ethiopian Jews and the connection to Judaic traditions. Another thing that was showing up, because I remember I attended to the case of Haymanut Kasau. Now, Ethiopians have the Book of Enoch, and another thing that was showing up is the elders, the men elders in the community. If they were waiting at puberty, if they used to touch girls or touch boys, or feel comfortable physically touching, doesn't have to be, kind of like to feel comfortable. Let's say somebody sits in the train, somebody comes to sit and they touch them. That's something that the energy around that has to do with the kidnapping of Haymanut Kasau, the lack of discernment of not allowing a person to have the simple, when people talk about sex positive education, when they look at teenagers and look at children, they don't talk about sexuality alone. They say the grandmother that grabs the cheek of the children, that's also not cool. If the child doesn't want to, and I don't know why it was coming particularly for Ethiopian society. It may be having to do with the case of Haymanut Kasau. It was easier to kidnap Haymanut Kasau because of the lack of education regarding that. I know it's absolutely not. It's not an Ethiopian society thing. Somebody shows up in all segments of society. So I don't know why it was shown. So my guess that it was coming up regarding case of Haymanut Kasau, regarding the culture. And again, note that I did not say pedophilia culture, or I said something very simple. And the fact that the respect to the elderly to the extreme extent that the elders are always right, is something that prevents the tending to the case of Haymanut Kasau. So I guess that's why it's approached to people outside the community, because it's like those are the outspoken people, the people that won't let anybody, touch them haphazardly and won't say anything, or and again, it's a cultural thing, but because conjoin that with weddings at puberty, we are talking about something that is compounding coming up upon the Mars conjunction Uranus. It's in the 9th house of Israel. Mars rules DNA and identity. It's ruling the 7th house of Israel. Israel is a Chiron in Scorpio, which Mars rules. So this can be a wound around the psychosexual issues to do with particular DNAs or origins. Again, the only reason I think it would come in that particular group of societies because of the studies of the DNA that connects to Judaism and the case of Haymanut Kasau. I know that they wanted to have a second coming of Christ as a woman, a black woman, a BIPOC woman. So those were some of the things that were coming up. We talk about the cultural changes that are needed. Mars Uranus denotes that certain cultural changes that are needed to locate the missing, to prevent children going missing, in that case children. Another thing, Mercury can rule stealings, and Rahu is approaching slowly Dana Balgiri. So I addressed the topic of Dana Balgiri and lootery in the sense that to prevent stealing, we need to abolish any sort of sexual boundary violation or rape culture. We can't, how should I say it? We can't target the thieves if we haven't targeted the abolishing of those things, because there is also the nervous system hack issue. Um, there is, for there to be a meaning to property, there has to be a meaning to sexual sovereignty and to abolish rape culture, because the sense of self has to be there. It's just praxis, okay? When there is no sense of self, then what happens is that the adults mind control the children, and
הרכבת של השעה 10:15 להרצליה תצא מרציף 1.
um, the entire Ten Commandments are baseless without abolishing rape. And oh, it's a Saturn hour.